Joining now.
Richard, has he lost it? Richard, are you on?
I am.
It's on then. So Richard is now on, so he'll present the invitation.
Thank you all so very much for being with us again today. I'm so very fortunate and honored to be with all of you on this very special day. I know people might think that it's sappy, but this here, the day of love, Valentine's Day, is one of my very favorite holidays. And I just wanted to take the time out today to recognize that a lot of what we do in the name of service, it's still in the name of love for our fellow man and love for humanity. And I just wanted to make sure that we all recognize the support that we have from such a loving community, and that I pray that that love permeates through all aspects of our lives as Rotarians. We must make sure that we spread love through all corners of this great land, all corners of our city, all corners of our state, and make sure we love the unloved, and make sure that we show compassion to everyone in all the things that we do. I pray that this Valentine's Day is special for each and every one of you. And if this day is hard because you may have lost someone that you love, I pray that their memory brings you joy and solace during these times. Therefore, I pray for all of you on this day of love. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Raleigh. Now, would you all stand and join me for our nation's Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Happy Valentine's Day. President Edwards, back to you.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Charlie. Linda, if you can introduce our guests.
Yes, Carrie has a guest today. I'd like to let her introduce herself. I'm Rachel Sutter. I'm Carrie's sister-in-law. I'm mom of three and history in her third. We also have Philip Barton, who is looking for a club to join, and I think he's found one.
You all have welcomed me, and I appreciate that. It's been a pleasure being here already. As she said, I'm from Rocky Mountain, and part of their club. We're known for Tackle the Tar, an obstacle that supports, it's obstacle race that supports local college students, raises a lot of money. So I'm anxious to see what kind of things you all do for the community. And if I was a part of this club, I'd want to be plugged in and help them with that as well.
We also have Randy Diaz, who joined us last time on Zoom and this time in person. So he's also looking for a club, and I think hopefully he's found a home.
Yes, so I'm definitely looking forward to joining the club, and my name is Randy Diaz. I originally was with 2 contracts on my own little LLC I'm working on, but I got a new job opportunity that pays a little more, so I'd be willing to contribute a little more.
And then Richard has a guest today. He would like to introduce Cliff.
Yes, I want to welcome back Cliff Isaac. It's the second time at the club, and I believe you'll be submitting the application as well.
Great.
So have Mike DeSilva.
Yes, hi, this is my friend, Mike. He was retired law enforcement with the FBI for 30 years, and with our speaker, he had to come and.
Watch your back.
And we also have some law enforcement guests, if you all would like to introduce yourself, friends of the speaker. Sorry, I caught you that time. I'm sorry.
Hi, how you doing? My name is James Hanson. I'm a detective and I'm assistant to the chief. I'm originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina, but for all my Tar Heels, I have Tar Heels.
Good afternoon. I've met some of you guys already. Talked about that Super Bowl. That's okay. We're going to get through it. My name is Michael Bell, and I work out with Chief's Office, Steve Patterson. And what I do for her, I help build relationships, also community engagement.
And then on Zoom, we have the NC State MBA students, so welcome to them. And if there is anybody else on Zoom that I may have missed, I believe I saw one of our Southeast Satellite members, Doris Bullock. So if you're on, please say hi. And if there's anybody else that I missed on Zoom, please turn your mic on and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Great. Well, welcome everybody online and in person. Just a quick note about the MBA students. We've decided at the board level to conduct a review of the strategy and the organization of the club. And we have contracted with NC State out of the Pool School, the management school. There's four students who have taken up the challenge of doing a review of the club, what we do, how we're organized, and they're starting today. Well, actually, they've been reviewing information, and they'll also be joining our board meeting tonight to listen to how we run our board meeting. So they'll be out, reaching out, may ask to interview a number of you. So please respond positively and tell them what you think about the club and what we could do better. So it's all to make the club more vibrant, resilient, and sustainable. Thank you. Charlie, there's probably happy dollars and there's food dollars. So I'm not sure which is more after that little game yesterday evening.
Bill McCord. I'm very pleased to announce the birth of Wesley Marshall McLaurin, my second grandson in Richmond, Virginia. He's also the grandson of member Ron Barber. Ron and I arranged for our children to meet. As the story goes. And now we have two boys and young boys in Richmond. And Ron is there now, and I'll be going later this week. All right.
So those of you who've been around a while know that I'm from Detroit, and I'll sadly, proudly say I'm a Detroit Lions fan. have never been in the Super Bowl in my 60 years. So the closest thing I've got is
Matthew
that Matt
Stafford.
Stafford.
Nobody else?
Nobody else?
All right, I guess the rest of them are out weeping.
That's right.
Yes.
Probably. Okay, just very quickly, there'll be no meeting again. Just to remind everybody, no meeting next Monday because it's President's Day. The following Monday, Daniela Cara from The Bridge International will be with us, and I'm waiting for Carrie to fill in the rest of the schedule.
We're looking for 2 for the beginning of March.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to listen to me, so, find somebody else. Just a little bit of club and district news. Erlene Middleton is on. As you know, longtime member of this club, Arlene, after 32 years with the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina, retired. I guess it was last week. That's when I got my announcement from the Food Bank. She was with the Food Bank from 1991 until this year. Started as an assistant in resource development, and then worked her way up to be a vice president, basically in charge of all of the outreach activities of the Food Bank, which does a wonderful job. So congratulations, Arlene. Hope to see you now that you're less busy coming back to our meetings, but she is on. So congratulations. Just a reminder, the district conference, the district assembly, which is later this month, is going virtual thanks to the Omicron. So if you have signed up, you don't have to drive over to Cary on a Saturday morning. It will be virtual from basically 10 o'clock until noon. On the 26th of March, and I know Randy has been involved in this for many, many years, the annual visit to the Boys and Girls Club in Lake Guacamole will occur. They are asking that Rotarians go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy a gift certificate or a gift card. Bring them back to the club if you want to do this. Their sports equipment evidently is in bad shape, and they're looking for Rotarians to reach out through these gift cards to help them revitalize their stock of sports equipment. So, and if you want to go, we haven't done this, organized this yet, but there'll be a group of us going down to Lake Guacamole on the 26th of March. Proud to announce thanks primarily to the Southeast Raleigh Club. In fact, almost exclusively the Southeast Raleigh Club. They've contributed 3 juniors, high school juniors. That makes, as of last Thursday, when I was with the district governor, a total of 77 students are going to be going on the weekend of the 8th through the 10th of April up to Oxford for Raleigh. Reminder, day of service is on the 23rd of April. We'll be getting you more information about that. And then another reminder, the district conference is in the middle of May. There's about 112 people have already registered. A number from this club that I know of, they have capacity for about 200. So if you want to go and learn a lot more about Rotary and have a good time over in Winston-Salem, please sign up for that. On the 21st of April, so the Thursday before the day of service, the Rotary Club of Raleigh and Gift of Life, James LaMancha, who is a member here, we're organizing a whiskey and wine. And Chief, please be kind, and we'll tell you where it is and when it is. And if you guys we'll all be not drunk when we're driving, but on the 21st, we're going to be holding at the La Mancha Art Gallery in the Village District a fundraiser. And this fundraiser is going to benefit both the Gift of Life and the Rotary Club of Raleigh's foundation. So it's a 50-50 split. We're initially going to open up invitations to our membership, and then we will add to that other Rotary clubs here in Area 10, which is basically Raleigh, as well as the La Mancha Gallery clients. Ticket prices will be $75 per person. There'll be wine, there'll be, see, there's two types of whiskey. I saw this one place, oh, rye or bourbon, to be enjoyed. Thank you, Frank, is helping to organize all of that. We'll have food as well. And also, we're looking for sponsorships to add to the funds that we can donate both to Gift of Life as well as to our foundation. Contact either Linda or Christy Santacana, who are leading the charge on that. We thank both of them for that. And also, if you're interested in donating something for an auction item, James is already is donating a painting. Frank Dinners at the Pit. Thank you, Frank. And Linda and Christy, as I said, are looking for additional items. So that will be the 21st. There'll be two, not seatings, but two periods just because of the space within the gallery. So from 5 to 6:15, then we'll take a break, reorganize, and get ready for a second one from 6:30 to 7:45. So look forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. Richard, come on up and tell us how many million books we've collected. This is amazing.
Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. So when I walked into the building this morning, we had collected about 413 books already. But thanks to some books brought by Eric and the astounding drive by Kevin and Tom single-handedly sending out notes, we're going to have about 500 books and about more books in an hour. So we're really close, y'all, and we're not going to hit the halfway point. And I don't want to make Charles' stomach hurt and say, hey, we're going for 2,000, but hey, you know, we're going to do it. But it's just an amazing outpour. I dropped off the books today, Wake Up and Read. And to Charles' suggestion, they're going to put our name on the website as a partner. And they are just so moved by our actions. And in fact, she challenged her leadership team. So I want you guys to find another club like that to support us like that. So well done, everybody. We still got 14 days to go. Thank you for all the books you sent. I've got every day I have a package from Amazon on my porch with a book. And again, if you need me to go somewhere, I'll come to your office, I'll come to your workplace, wherever you want me to go. So, but thank you again so much. We're making a serious impact. Thank you.
Great. Patterson. Sounds like you've got 3 new members already, right?
It's great. Before I get into the membership thing, I would just like to say, though, I remember about 3 weeks ago when Richard came up here to put the initial start for our book collection at 500. Charles was like, that's a stretch goal. I don't know. And now we're almost surpassing 1,000. So thank you guys for showing, living out your service above self. That's huge. So a couple things. First of all, we have our service social. As you guys know, we usually do a 5th meeting, which is a social. We've transitioned those over for the foreseeable future as service socials. The next one coming up is on February 24th. Want to make sure. Yep, from 5:30 to 7 over here at the Long Leaf. They've got a lounge, it's a wine bar. They have a sommelier or sommelier, however you say it. So they have an expert on wine there that will make it an enjoyable evening. And so usually I tell people, hey, this is a great opportunity to share your why. Why are you a Rotarian? Why is it important to you? I want to challenge everybody, show your why. So bring someone to this event, this social, have a nice glass of wine or drink, but also as these service socials are created, bringing snack foods for children that we're supporting. So show our friends and family and colleagues why it's important to be a Rotarian, the impact that we're making in our community. So just be on the lookout for that coming up, like I said, on February 24th from 5:30 to 7 over at the Long Leaf. And next we have Chris. Chris, if you'll just meet me up front. We have our first reading today for Chris Gentry. So I wanted to bring him up. Today we have sponsored by Linda, our first reading for Chris Gentry. Chris is the regional sales director with Keyforce. He's originally from Connecticut, but moved to Raleigh with his wife Terry and 3 sons, Austin, Sean, and Luke, about 16 years ago. Chris's background includes time in the B2B and consumer publishing arena through advertising sales, but more recently has been in the SaaS arena for several companies in the area. Chris enjoys golfing and surf cast fishing in his downtime. Here's actually one thing I would love for you to tell a little bit more about. So fun fact, he has a cover band with his 3 sons. What's the name of the cover band and what kind of music do you cover?
The name of the cover band is The Grooveneers.
Okay.
It took a lot of work to get it, believe me. And it's just rock and roll rhythm and blues. And it's fun to play with your boys. So it's weird, but it's good.
I can see a service social one there.
Yeah.
That's good. Love it.
We'd have to get rid of half of the songs, but we'll keep the good stuff.
Well, yeah, Chris is extremely excited to join the Rotary Club of Raleigh and to add value to what we're doing to our community. So if you have any questions or if you hadn't had an opportunity to meet with Chris and talk with him, feel free to meet with him after the meetings. If you have any questions, send those questions directly to me. I believe that is it for us.
Great, thank you, Harrison. Thank you, Chris. We have a lot of birthdays this week to celebrate. Richard Watkins on the 19th, Robin Hudson on the 20th, David Coates on the 20th, Bill Lambeth on the 22nd, Val on the 25th, and Carl Davis on the 26th. If you have not already heard, and I just about Bill Lambeth, who's past president of this club, he took a really bad fall. I mean, a really bad fall. He's out at Telluride, and we hope, or his family hope, that they're going to be able to airlift him back to Raleigh today. But he's on a feeding tube. And we're not sure the extent of his head injuries. He was wearing a helmet, but it didn't go right. So please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. We'll have more information as soon as we hear about it. On a happier note, Cindy and David Roberts will be celebrating their anniversary later this week on the 23rd. Unless there is anything else for the good of the club, I'll invite David up to introduce our speaker.
All righty, fun times in Rotary. Lots of things going on with new members and book drives and a lot of wine, apparently. So yeah, thank you, President Charles. We are happy to have Miss Estella Patterson as our speaker today. Miss Patterson was named chief of the Raleigh PD on August the 1st of last year. As Raleigh's senior law and enforcement officer, Chief Patterson leads our city's over 900 sworn and civilian employees. With the goal of making Raleigh the safest city in the nation, Chief Patterson focuses on reducing violent crime, and increasing overall engagement in our city, and to boost the morale of our Raleigh PD. She must have started in law enforcement when she was about 7, because prior to moving to the city of Raleigh, she was with the city of Charlotte, Mecklenburg from 1996 until 2021. And then prior to that, she was in the Army Reserve for 9 years. Her tours with the Army Reserve were both in Iraq and in Kosovo. So thank you for your service, Chief. Chief Patterson did her undergrad work at UNC Charlotte and got her master's from the University of Oklahoma. She's also a graduate of the FBI Academy. So without further ado, Chief Patterson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to see everyone and happy Valentine's Day to you. If you forgot or didn't realize today's Valentine's Day, you got about 3 more hours. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long and cold week for you. So we have a little bit to work with there. I think I'm projecting okay. You can hear me all the way in the back. Is it okay? I don't know if the mic is really on, but want to say congratulations to all the LA Rams fans out there. I'm not, oh, good. Y'all sound like me. I'm not a fan either, but congratulations are in order to the Rams. They did an outstanding job last night. Last week, I visited the Rotary Club of West Raleigh. That was a nice experience. But I got to say, I like this club because you guys got better food here. I enjoyed lunch, so thank you for lunch. And I want to thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. It's truly my honor, my pleasure to be here to give you just an update about the Raleigh Police Department and to talk a little bit about my goals and my visions that I have here for this city and for this police department. With me today, they've already introduced themselves, but I just want to give honor where honor's due because they are part of my staff and they work so hard to make sure that we are doing things that the citizens want in our community. So to my Assistant Detective Hampton, James Hampton has been with me since I've been here in Raleigh, and also to Michael Ballin, he's our Community Engagement Coordinator. And so I am very invested in the community, so I want to have somebody very close to me that shares in my goals with that. So they are both here with me. So I've been here 6 months in Raleigh as the chief, and I gotta say, some of you asked me beforehand, how am I liking it so far? I love this city. I think that Raleigh is a beautiful city, has a lot of things, a very amazing city. I came from Charlotte, spent 25 years there as a police officer rising through the ranks of the CMPD. Love that assignment there, big city. Charlotte is kind of a big city. And from it, I've learned so much and I can bring that experience here, which is just wonderful for me. I have been using a lot of what I learned there here in Raleigh. I thought that I was going to come to a police department that had it all together. Everything was great, no problems, no issues. But from day one, we have been dealing with challenges, but they have been good things for me to keep me quite busy. So I do want to talk to you today about my goals and my visions and my priorities for the organization. I will say my apologies in advance if you sat through our council meeting a couple weeks ago in late January, because I did present the same presentation. I modified it a little bit, but most of the content is the same. So let me start off firstly by just talking a little bit about the mission of the Raleigh Police Department. I think it is important that you know what our mission is. And really, it's just namely to help improve the quality of life in our community, which we can only do through partnerships. That is so huge to me. Our partnerships are with our residents, of course, but with visitors, with businesses, with all the stakeholders in this community. It is so important to me that we are working collaboratively. Now, coupled with our mission statement is our core values, which are listed here. And this is what makes our organization great. Bookend within these core values are service and compassion. We cannot do our jobs as a police department if those are not our anchors. We want to serve our community and we want to do it with compassion so that everyone in our community feels valued and they feel that they are a part of Raleigh. In terms of my vision, it's very simple. David, I think you read it in my bio. It's to make Raleigh the safest city. I don't think that's an unrealistic goal. I think we can do that and we can achieve that together in this great city. For me, it is very clear. I want anyone who live, learn, work, and play here to feel, not only feel safe, but that they are safe, because that's quite two different things, right? If I go to the mall, I might feel safe, but indeed, am I safe? You're safe if you're not a victim of crime. And so that is important to me that we recognize that. I want you to know, as your chief, that I am fully committed to making sure that we put the resources in the right place so that we can achieve that as a city. Now, having said that, what are my priorities for the police department? In order to make Raleigh the safest city, I have identified 3 priorities that my team and I have been and will continue to work on. And when I got to the police department, I had to learn a lot about RPD, but immediately these 3 things came to the surface. And I said that we must focus on as an organization. And one is the reduction in the management of violent crime. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. But we want to make sure that we're very laser focused about our intentionality around violent crime. Also too, I want to make sure that we're restoring public trust and confidence and legitimacy in this police department. 2020 was a tough year for law enforcement across the board. And so as we move forward, it is important that we make sure that we are building that trust back with our community. And then my third priority, or my third pillar, is to make sure that we're increasing our focus on employee wellness, morale, and resiliency. We're losing a lot of police officers from this profession, and it has a lot to do with the work that we do and our public perception. So I feel as a chief, I have to make sure that our morale is high and that there are things that we can do to ensure that that happens. In terms of violent crime, just to give you a little snapshot, and I always have to throw this caveat in here because I came from a city where we've seen violent crime. In Charlotte, you know, there's a lot that's going on all the time. It's always in the news. Raleigh, thankfully, is not in that position. And I want to make sure we stay in that position. When I look at the violent crime numbers here in Raleigh, per capita, we're in a very good place. And I think that the city has been that way for some time. But there are some natural things that drive crime that we have to look at. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves in a position that we don't want to be in. One of the main causes of violent crime, and my colleagues and I talk about this all the time. I'm always reading, they're reading, we're going back and forth on things. It's just the accessibility of firearms. Let's just talk about it. That's what it is. There are firearms. You can get it very easily in this country. I am a Second Amendment enthusiast. I believe in the right to bear arms. The thing is, I believe in responsible ability in accessing these firearms, making sure that we're not leaving firearms in places where those who have bad intentions can get a hold of them. Every time I speak, I always tell people, please, please, please don't leave your guns, don't leave your firearms in your car, not even for a moment. In 10 seconds, somebody can get in and out of your car and steal that firearms. It's really important that we're looking at that. So in this country, especially in 2020, during the pandemic and with the outset of the pandemic, we start to see violent crime. We started to see violent crime start to increase. I don't know what it is about the pandemic, why people were just out of their minds with it, but we started to see these increases. And with the attack last year on the Capitol, we saw 80% increase in background checks where people were purchasing firearms. Again, not a problem with that. It's just the irresponsibility of that. And the fact that because they're so accessible and they're in our society, people are stealing them, people are getting their hands on them, which then drives violent crime. Another violent crime driver really is public sentiment towards the police. And I said, you know, in 2020, it was a rough year for law enforcement. It was also a rough year because of the pandemic. And it's a rough year all the time when we have social and economic factors that contribute to violent crime. Also to population growth. So Raleigh is going through the same growth spurt that I saw in Charlotte. We saw it about 6-7 years ago. As a city, probably weren't in the best shape, was not prepared for it. Our infrastructure could not support the growth that we were seeing in the Charlotte area. Raleigh, to some extent, is facing that same challenge. I'm hoping that our leaders, and it looks like that way, that they're trying to build the infrastructure and put the services in places so that we are not subject to the hike in violent crime that we saw in Charlotte. But I think that all these factors really contribute to the violent crime that we're seeing, or the rises that we're seeing really across the nation. And let me say that too. If you're watching the news, if you're keeping up with it, this violent crime surge that we're seeing is not in just one city or two cities. It's not in the major cities. It's literally across the nation in every city. When you look at the crime statistics, it's kind of flooring to see the number of homicides and aggravated assaults throughout the nation. When we talk about some of the mitigation of our violent crime, I really want to take a three-pronged approach where we're using all the resources that we can. I want it to be led by intelligence, by the information that is being fed to us by data, by our weekly crime data, as well as national trends. And then from there, have a very targeted approach or focus, looking at offenders and looking at location where crime is occurring, and then focusing all our resources on that. And then I want to make sure too that we're in partnership with our community members. We cannot fight crime alone. I need everybody's help in this room to help us fight crime. But additionally to our federal partners, I'm always in conversation with our U.S. Attorney's Office, as well as our DA's office. Lauren Freeman and I speak quite a bit. We text quite a bit about the crime and how we address it. And then also to all our federal partners, to include the U.S. Attorney's Office. I think we have to really be focused on using all the resources we can to mitigate crime. So that's violent crime. It being one of my big focuses, but also to something, and this is not violent crime, but this is something I think needs to be addressed in our city. Speeding. Speeding in Raleigh. Raleigh got some crazy drivers, y'all. I thought Charlotte was bad, but when I got to this city and I saw how I was being cut off, I mean, even in my car, I don't have a blue and white patrol car, I have an unmarked car, but I think you can tell it's a police car. I got tinted windows, I got blue lights in that car, and people still will cut me off, you know, ride by me, look at me, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. But speed has been an issue here in Raleigh. In the 6 months that I have been here, I have seen it. So I have made it a priority then to really concentrate on safety-related traffic offenses, speeding, reckless driving, DWIs. And it sounds like this group likes to drink a lot of wine. Yeah, careful with that. Be very careful. The number one complaint that I have received since I have been here in this seat is related to speeding and traffic enforcement. So because of that, and I've noticed it myself, of course, we're really dedicating a lot of resources to that. We are working with our partners, though, to be effective in how we enforce speed violations. So we have partnered with the Highway Patrol, also the Wake County Sheriff's Office, and local surrounding agencies. Since October, we have conducted 7 RPD and multi-agency speed enforcement operations. We've been on I-440, we have been in the inner city, we have done DWI saturation patrols, move over project. We've been working also on a school bus safety project because people are just going around our school buses and putting our children's lives in danger. So we've really been intentional about our focus in those areas. And my emphasis to my team has been that we're going to educate first and then we're going to enforce. So I have been telling y'all since last September that we're going to write tickets for speeders and that we're pulling people over. Now we're in that enforcement phase where we're actually writing citations for that. In fact, I would share that the day before Thanksgiving, we did a traffic enforcement operation with the Highway Patrol with Wake County. We were out on I-440 and we were only there for a couple hours and we wrote 88 citations. And we were only stopping cars that were going over 85 miles an hour. That just gives you a little bit of a benchmark of what we're dealing with here in this city. Y'all been on 440. Y'all know that it is just a speedway when it's not busy out there. People are just driving very recklessly. So we really want to make sure that we're focusing on that. I feel that that is important for us. In 2021, in this city, there were 20,391 traffic collisions, 20,395 collisions. That's because there's people on the road, there's more drivers on the road. Well, that was an increase of 14% over 2020. So that lets us know the city is growing, there are people out and about more, we have to be careful as we are driving. And the main reason why is because of traffic collisions and fatalities that we're seeing on our major thoroughways. So in 2020, there were 38 traffic collision fatalities, in 21, there were 40. And then year to date, we are at 9 in the city. If we continue at the pace we are at right now, we will outpace what we did last year. So that's why there's so much emphasis. Speed kills, and we want to make sure that we are mitigating that as much as possible. All right, so violent crime and also speeding is a great priority and a focus for me, but also to community engagement. I am very much about community engagement. Is a priority for me. I am very police. It's the heart of my policing philosophy is that we include the community in everything we do as a police department. I think that we can all agree that after the national events in 2020, it is crucial that a police department make sure that they are building relationships with the community to every extent that they can do that. So it's my expectation that every police officer within our organization, every employee within our organization is a community officer, is building those relationships, engaging, having a rapport with members of the community. We should not just be call takers, where we're going out to a call and we're taking that and then we just leave that call. We should spend some time getting to know that community. And for me, the biggest thing is that's where you get your intel from. As a beat officer myself, working the streets, I would get with them little old ladies that knew everything that was going on in the community. They could tell you where everybody was staying, who was coming in and out of what house. They had all the intelligence information that you needed So encouraging our officers to do that and to build those relationships, it's a little bit tough with this generation because they're all about their devices, right? They don't do everything on their phones or on their iPads, but getting back to just being personable, being out and about in the community is huge for me. With community engagements, we've had some ongoing things that we have been doing here at Raleigh that we will continue to do. Our community meetings and events, of course, are important to us. Our coffee with a cop session. And if you want to do a coffee with a cop session, please let Mr. Ballin know. We can set that up with your company. Also to our Advanced Auto Parts partnership. And I like to brag on this. How many of you have heard about our Advanced Auto Parts? You saw it on our social media or you just got wind of it. Okay, a few hands. So I was super excited when I got here around September or so. Advanced Auto Parts reached out to RPD. And they said, we would love to offer this to you. We don't know, Chief, if you're going to be on board with it, but this is what we'd like to do. We would like to give you gift cards that when your officers make stops for minor traffic offenses or vehicle repairs, if you would, instead of writing them a citation, you would give them a gift card. And they would take that gift card and they would come to Advanced Auto Parts and we would make that repair for them up to $25. I was like, wow, that's the essence of community policing. I mean, that is an awesome thing to do. It's a win-win for everybody, a win for the person, they don't get a citation, a win for the police department because we look good because we're getting out a gift card instead of hauling somebody to jail or giving them a citation. And then it's great for auto parts because it generates business for them. People come into their stores. So it's these kinds of partnerships that I am looking at wanting to make investments in so that we can have a great partnership with the community. So if there are any businesses out there who want to partner with us in something like this, I'm open to that. Let us know. We will be very responsive to that. Another ongoing engagement that we are a part of is our eye care team. And so eye care stands for Interfaith Community Ambassadors for Responsive Engagement. And it's composed of 17 members in our faith community. And they serve as ambassadors for the police department. So they go back to their congregation and to their communities and they talk about the police department and what we're doing, having those courageous conversations about police and communities. And then they bring that information back to us. With the eye care team, we meet monthly to talk about some of those outcomes and also any kind of community engagement that they want to engage in with us at the police department. Very excited about the eye care team, and we're looking to add some new members. So if you know of any clergy in your communities that would be a good candidate for this, please let us know. We'd like to extend an invitation to them. Another ongoing community engagement is our youth summit. And so one of my passions is working with the youth, preparing our youth to be future leaders within our community. And so with that, we have a youth summit. We weren't able to do it last year because of COVID, but we're hoping this year to roll that out. That's going to be in August. And really it's just one day where we bring youth from across Raleigh, particularly in our underserved communities, and we provide presentations to them. We give them opportunities to learn more about the police department, but just about life in general, life skills kind of thing. I was so thrilled on last week, I think it was, we met with Fifth Third Bank and they agreed to help sponsor and to provide financial literacy classes at our youth summits to our youth. So I thought I was ecstatic about that. So those are just some of our ongoing community engagements that we are a part of. Of course, we want to expand and continue to do some more. So if you'd like to partner with us in any way, we're open to that. Just let me know. Two new initiatives that we are doing at RPD is one is our community conversations. We're getting really deep into our conversations. I met, in fact, Detective Hampton and I met with some ex-offenders a couple weeks ago, beginning of January. And these ex-offenders reached out to me and says, we want to talk to you about the lessons we've learned. We've been in federal prison, we've been gang members, we've done all these things, lots of lessons to be taught to our young people. So we want to meet with you to talk about that. And also too, we want to talk about why when you guys make a traffic stop, it's always like 5 of you ascending on us. I'm just one person, all of you around me. Why is it that you do this? Why is it that you do that? They wanted to learn more about our police department and why we do what we do. And I felt that that's a great opportunity to educate the public. And so we're going to continue those conversations. Michael Ballin's already the head of that and leading to start having those once a month where we just invite our officers as well as some of these ex-offenders. They get in a room and they just talk through things for us. Another initiative that we have at RPD is our LGBTQ+ liaison. And that individual is just, again, we want to partner with all aspects of our community. I just don't want to limit it to one, community group. I want to reach out to every community, every segment of the community that's out there. So Michael Ballin is our liaison for our LGBTQ plus community. And he's already started to make some inroads there with some of the leaders within that community. So RPD will be doing more to really initiate and continue those conversations forward. Advance to the next slide here, a little bit of technical difficulty. Let's advance on. Okay, so, and my third pillar is employee wellness, but before I talk about that, one quick thing I did want to mention, another community engagement that we have is our Acorns unit. And you may not have heard of Acorns, or you may have, because we've been in the news quite a bit about them, but Acorns stands for Assessing Crime Through Outreach, Referrals, and Networking. And it's a group of about 5 individuals. We have a supervisor, 3 social workers, 3 officers, and 1 detective. And so that group, even though it's a small group of officers and social workers, they have come together to really address our mental health issues that we're seeing within our community. And their mission is to connect these individuals in crisis and to provide them with the resources to meet their mental health needs. And small unit, but they have been doing a super job. We stood them up in June of 2021, and just in that short period, they have reached out to so many, made so many interventions with those in the community who need it. They really specialize at looking at those who are dealing with substance abuse and then those who are also experiencing homelessness. And their outreach is just phenomenal. We've had 83 referrals from officers, because officers internally can make referrals to the Acorns unit, and then they do follow-up. What I love so much about Acorns is that we're just not a one and done unit. We're not just going to meet with these individuals one time, but they do repeated follow-ups to make sure that those who experience mental health issues are not in the pipeline with the police, that they're not always having contact with us. And I think those constant follow-ups help to reduce that as much as possible. All right, now getting to my third pillar, employee wellness and morale. This is huge for me. This is my third and probably most important priority because it is inward facing in the organization. I want to make sure that we're looking at our men and women within the organization and what we can do to increase the morale within the department. I got to say that I inherited a well-trained, very professional police department. I'm so excited about that. But because our police department is well-trained and so professional, everybody else wants them as well. So what we are experiencing right now as an organization is pretty much many people leaving, going on A, to other police departments within this region, or B, just changing professions altogether because of the scrutiny that we have been under as police officers and law enforcement as a whole profession. When I look around the agencies around us, there was a time as a young officer coming up in Charlotte, you know, we were the biggest and baddest organization. Everybody wanted to be a CMPD officer. Everybody wanted to be an RPD officer because being in the big agencies was better. If you wanted to be a federal agent or something like that, you started in large police agencies. Well, all the small towns have gotten very smart, and they are beating us now at our game. All the small towns like Apex and Garner and Holly Springs, they're saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to pay our police officers more money. We're going to give them take-home cars, and we're going to create an environment that loves police so that they want to come here. And that has been really hurting us. We're losing a lot of our top officers to the smaller cities around us. That's good if you live in those areas because you know you're getting quality officers. But here in Raleigh, I got to be concerned about my numbers. When I'm fully staffed, I have 800 police officers. We're about 100 officers down. So that's impacting a lot of things I want to do in terms of community engagement. So it's very important to me that I find ways to bring individuals to this organization and to keep them while they are here. So we have been working very hard as an organization to do exactly that. Some of the things that I have done since being here as chief is, one, I formed action committees to address the various aspects of the wellness and the morale of our organization. I just brought all the officers together and I told them you can be on any committee you want to be. And we're going to look at uniforms, we're going to look at equipment, we're going to look at pay, we're going to look at everything across the spectrum and give you an opportunity to weigh in on what you would like to see for your police department. I want to make sure that I'm creating an organizational culture that enables us to recruit and to hire and to retain the highest quality of police officers. In doing that with our officer wellness, we launched our Cortical Wellness App. And that is an app that gives our officers and our employees, not just our officers, but all our employees tools to help them to learn about nutrition, financial literacy, peer support, chaplain support. I just want to make sure that our officers are whole all the way around. And this app provides a lot of those functions and those resources for them. Stress management, which is a huge thing, work-life balance. And it's available to their family members as well. So their spouses, their girlfriends, their loved ones can also get that app and they can download a lot of this information. So we just launched that about 2 weeks ago. And so it's going well so far. So we'll continue to do that for our employees. Also, too, we want to make sure that we are preparing our employees for excellence, that they can be the best officer that they can. A couple things we have done with this slide, if you take a look here, starting in the top left, is our Officer of the Month. I brought that from Charlotte with me, that we recognize a patrol officer every month. And in doing that, we do a public, if you will, I say public, it's eternal, but it's public. We go to where that officer works, we present them with a plaque and some other tangibles to let them know we appreciate them as an individual. And with that, I want to see if we can partner with a company who doesn't mind doing something with us for our Officer of the Month, maybe provide a little plaque or something for our Officer of the Month. So if you know of any company that's willing to do that, let us know, because we do want to partner with them on that. In the top right corner is Officer Lyman with her canine hero, Peppers. Peppers is a rock star at RPD. Everybody, and within the community, everybody loves Peppers. When we posted her on our social media, it just lit up like crazy. We got a lot of likes. But Pepper got the distinguished honor of being the National ESPN Canine Detection Dog of the Year. She won the challenge that they had here at PNC Arena back in November. And she was the #1 dog to do that. So we're super excited about Canine Peppers. On the bottom left is Officer Jeffries, who was honored as the local hero of the game at a Hurricanes game back in December. And then on the bottom right is Officer Rittmeyer. His dog is not in the picture with him, but he has a canine as well, Canine Atlas. And they were honored for the third quarter top patrol case for U.S. Police Canine Association for Region 2. So I think it's important that we really recognize these accomplishments of our officers, and we will continue to do exactly that. Now, in order for us to balance our employee wellness and our morale, we've got to hire people. Like I've stated, we're down about 100. So it's important for us to recruit and hire individuals. All of you in this room can be hired if you desire to be a police officer. We are hiring. We are hiring. There is no upper age limit. So as long as you can come out, you are welcome to be a part of the team. I'm very happy to say that we graduated a recruit class back in November. We have a class in session now. We're constantly recruiting, trying to hire to get officers within our recruit class. So if you know anyone who is interested in law enforcement, being a police officer, please send them our way, because we would like to hire them. All right, and finally, because I do want to open up to any questions that you may have of me, but finally, just looking at our outlook for 2022 and beyond, the things that I'm really going to be focusing on are the 3 pillars that I just talked to you about. We're going to continue that collaboration and building trust with the community. You're going to see me out and about a lot. I've already been out and about, but I'm going to be doing that more. You're going to see our officers out and about as well. We're going to continue to be very laser focused on our crime management, making sure that Raleigh continues to be the safest city as we can be. We're going to hire and we're going to retain a skilled workforce. And then we're going to continue our investments in training, because a lot of the criticism and scrutiny that I get is around, well, why did you do it that way? Why did you have to shoot? Why did you have to? Why all the time? And I find myself having to explain that at the heart of everything we do is around de-escalation. We want to make sure that we are de-escalating incidents as much as we can. We were awarded a COPS grant on de-escalation. It's a 2-year grant. We're going to be rolling out some training regarding that. And we want to really focus on our reality-based training, so our scenarios are very realistic, so that if our officers are in that situation, we know exactly how to handle that. So this concludes my update. This is the outlook that we have for 2022 and beyond. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have of me. Yes, I see some hands going up. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. I'll speak for myself, but probably reflected by everybody in the room. Great deep appreciation for the men and women in blue.
Thank you.
And are absolutely distraught to see what's happening to police officers around the country, assaults on them, injuries, deaths. Some of them, I say, would be even considered to be assassinations.
Right.
What is your view as the head of RPD, just on the national picture, but then what is RPD doing to protect the officers that are on watch, on patrol?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very disturbed by what I've seen across the nation. And to your point, what happened? Knew that when I was in Charlotte, and coming here, I was very thankful for that. But I think that, you can never predict, you never know when a situation like that's going to happen. We just have to rely on our training, and we have to educate the public on our training. Because anytime there's a use of force situation, it's not always going to look pretty. When you get that 10-second video of it, it doesn't look good, but our officers are relying on the training to keep themselves safe and to protect third parties as well. And so as long, I think, as we focus on our training, what we have been taught and what the best practices models are across the nation, I think we're going to be okay with that. The other piece of that is too, though, I think it's important for our community, again, to be engaged. If there's information, about something that's going to happen, we need to know that. That needs to be shared with us. I'm a big proponent of Crime Stoppers. I told people, I says, every time I'm on the news or something like that, I said, if you have any information about a crime or anything, please call our Crime Stoppers. And I think us getting that information is going to help us in the long run as well. Thank you for that question. Very good. Yes, sir.
You are dynamite, and you have really an impressive career, and you obviously have volunteered for a lot of activities. So thank you for coming to Raleigh. I have two questions. One is, has there actually been defunding of the police here in Raleigh?
First, no, sir, not that I am aware of. Looking at the budget, looking at where we're at, no defunding of the police, thank God.
And the second thing is, we have that police academy, I believe, down in Salemburg. Now, the applications there fallen off significantly, and have we been doing anything to promote the academy and also recruit from other cities that have had so much trouble with the defunding of the police? Do we recruit in any way from places like New York City and Philadelphia and other places?
Yes, sir. That's a great question. You asked first about the Justice Academy in Salemburg. So they really focus on, training officers who are already certified in service training for the most part, and specialized instructors. I don't know how much BLET, like basic law enforcement training, they do, but we really rely a lot on recruiting from across the nation, anywhere. We're looking at anywhere we can find quality people to come to our city. We are recruiting. We're finding that a lot of our applicants come from other parts of the country as well. We have not been just intentional about going to Portland or Seattle or those places. When I was in Charlotte, we had one guy that came from Portland. We were a little bit scared. We're like, I don't know if it's going to work out. So we'll see. Time will tell. But no, but we are looking everywhere. We're not just limited to the Raleigh or the North Carolina area. We are looking everywhere. Question? Yeah.
Corey,
Yeah,
so I appreciate you coming out to speak to us today. First off, I love the last speak you have.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Second off, I just want to, kind of confirm something that you said earlier.
Sure.
Obviously, you didn't confirm it, but you're telling me if I'm going 85 on the highway, I'm good to go.
84. Oh my, Carol, see, this is a good group right here. Y'all like to drink and y'all like to speak. That combination right there. Watch your speed. You might never know who might be out there. Very good. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just since you're on the speeding theme, I have one more question about that. In some places, they have found that it's been effective in neighborhoods to do speed bumps and to do, the cameras, which I know nobody likes either, but is that something that is allowed in Raleigh and something that that's legally allowed? And is it something that you're looking into? Because as you say, it's hard to find enough police officers to monitor.
Yeah, so speed bumps, yes, the city has that, and Department of Transportation looks at that. Since I've been here, some council members have approached me about that, and there's a process in order to be able, because you have to get, you have to get statistics of how many cars are going through neighbors and that kind of thing. So there is a process for that. In terms of the cameras, I'm not sure. Does Raleigh have? I know we have the stoplight.
We do have,
cameras.
stoplight, yes.
But I don't know about the speed cameras.
Yeah.
Do we have them in Raleigh as well?
I mean, some
They-
states, they're illegal.
Yes.
So I don't-
Not North Carolina.
But I don't think in North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina, they are legal. I remember in Charlotte, they did away with them. I think too many judges were getting tickets. They said, "We're no more of those around." I can't say I blame them on that one. All right, well, yes, I'm sorry.
I have a hand up.
Oh, okay, yes, it's our virtual.
Yes, Doris, you want to go ahead and unmute and ask your question?
Sure. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Chief. That was excellent presentation. I wanted to ask with regards to the task force or partnerships that you have around speaking to the youth and anybody else in the community. Is that just internal, or can the public or external people be a part of those committees?
So good question. Now, the ones I was talking about, the crucial conversations with the ex-gang members, we're keeping that internal. A free space, a safe space for both parties to talk. So we're not inviting the public to that. But some of the other things that we're doing in the community with our youth, yes, the public is a part of that. Our youth summit, we're partnering with a bunch of different businesses and youth groups, as well as community groups within Raleigh on that. So yeah, that is open to the public.
Awesome. Thank you.
So in closing, let me just say this. I just want to thank the Rotary. I mean, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for listening to me. I know that you're going to serve as ambassadors for us as well. You're going to go back and share this information with your friends and family and loved ones and your businesses so that we can get some support for our PD. So thank you so much for doing that for us.
To your comment, she is dynamite, and considering everything you're trying to do, you need that for coffee. Not wine, not whiskey, but coffee.
With a little bit of bourbon in it.
And I was going to rename the fundraiser the Water and Soda Fundraiser.
Thank you for this.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. And thank you, David, for bringing the chief. Please remember Bill Lambeth as he's fighting after the horrible accident out in Colorado. If you've got ideas for sponsorships and or items, donations for the fundraiser, please get up with Linda or Christy on that. Welcome to the 3 prospective new members, and Chris about to become a new member. Well done. And with that, please rise for the 4-way test. So number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3,
Goodwill among others.
Number 4, will it be
Beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Chief, for the presentation. We are adjourned.